Greetings children, welcome to your online classes. I'm Aishwarya. Please like and subscribe the channel for the further updates on the videos. This video is for 4th standard, subject General Science, Chapter 2, Reproduction in Animals, Part 2. In the Part 1, you learned about what are the different ways of reproduction in animal. What is reproduction? It is the process through which an animal produces their young ones. Now, we even saw what are viviparous animals and oviparous animals. Viviparous are animals which give birth to their young ones. Oviparous are animals which lay eggs. Then we saw the layers in an egg, the albumin, yolk, and how the embryo develops. All these things we saw in the egg. Then we saw the life cycle of birds, which contained egg, roosting, hatching, chick, and adult. We even saw metamorphosis. Metamorphosis means when the young undergoes a series of changes and finally become an adult. That stage is called metamorphosis. We even saw the life cycle of a butterfly as an example for metamorphosis. In the life cycle of butterfly, we saw the caterpillar, pupa, cocoon, and the adult butterfly and the eggs. Now in this video, we are going to learn further about, we are going to deal about the life cycle of a cockroach. The life cycle of a cockroach has 3 stages, that is egg, nymph, and cockroach. As you can see, all the 3 stages is mentioned on your screen. The female cockroach lays many eggs in a dark and safe place. The cockroaches always lays eggs in a very dark place or in the corner place where the eggs are not disturbed. The eggs are then left to hatch on their own. Each egg hatches into a baby cockroach called nymph. Now here you can see this is a nymph. It looks like the cockroach, but it is not completely like the adult cockroach. It does not look alike. It should change the skin a lot of times to become like the adult cockroach. Now, a nymph looks similar to an adult cockroach, but it does not have wings. Now, this cockroach will not have any wings, but the adult cockroach will have wings. The nymph, N-Y-M-P-H, nymph. Nymph is singular, N-Y-M-P-H-S, nymphs will be plural. Now, these nymphs eats waste like leftover food, paper cloth, etc. As it eats, it grows big. The nymph sheds its outer skin many times as it grows and becomes an adult. This shedding of skin is called molting. From this nymph to from this younger nymph to adult, it undergoes a lot of changes and there is a lot of weathering of skins. That means the shedding of skin happens. So that shedding of skin is called molting. This and later becomes the adult cockroach. This adult cockroach again lays eggs and the cycle continues. This cycle forms the life cycle of a cockroach. Now, important words of life cycle of cockroach are nymph and molting. NYMPH, nymph means it looks similar to an adult cockroach, but it does not have wings. Molting means the shedding of skin. Next, we are going to see the life cycle of amphibians. That is, the example for amphibians is a frog. The life cycle of a frog. Now, here you can see an adult frog, the eggs, the embryo, and everything. Let's follow up with the life cycle of frog. Frog are amphibians. They live both on land and in water. These are the characteristics that you already No, frogs lives on water and even lives in water and on land also. The female frogs lay hundreds of eggs in the water. In the next slide, I will show you the real eggs and how the tadpole or how the baby frog is seen. For now, you understand the cycle. These eggs hatch to release the tadpoles. Now here you can see the first as the adults they lay eggs. These eggs have become embryo. That means baby will grow inside the egg. When these eggs hatch out, tadpoles clinch into the water plant. In the water ponds you can see plants will be there, and these tadpoles, you can see black spots here, those are called the tadpoles. They clinch to the leaves or plants. A tadpole is different from a frog. A tadpole can live only in water. It cannot live outside. It has features like gills to breathe. It has a tail but no legs. A tadpole eats weeds and water plants, or it eats the plant in the water. Now what happens? External gills for breathing. They have gills, they don't have lungs like in adult frog. Then tails grows on. Here what happens when this tadpole grows, tail grows, then hind leg appears. You can see here clearly hind legs appear. It still has a tail. Lives from food stored in the tail. The food will be stored in the tail, so it will start feeding on its own tail. Then the front leg appears. Here you can see there is no front leg. Here you can see that front leg has appeared. Then tail becomes shorter. Now in the adult you can see there is no tail at all, so the tails become shorter, and this is the young frog, and it grows in size to become a big adult frog. This is the life cycle of a frog. Now here you can see the picture of the adult frog. This is the eggs inside, how inside the egg the embryo it is growing. Now these are the tadpoles, and this is the stage where it has front forelimbs and hind limbs and a long tail. The frog, it is ready to jump outside the water. Gradually the tadpole starts growing legs. At the same time it loses its tail. The tadpole now looks more like a frog. When it is fully grown, it comes out of the water and starts living on damp land and eats insects and worms, etc. As an adult, it breathes through lungs when on land and through its moist skin when it is in water. Those characteristics you learnt in the previous lesson itself. Now we are going forward with the reproduction of fish. Reproduction of fish all are very easy and simple. They lay hundreds of eggs at one time. Fishes lay hundreds of eggs at one time because some big fish eat up some of these eggs. Many eggs are lost in flood, sedimentation, changes in water temperature, etc. Some eggs survive to become fish. Now this group of fish eggs is called roe. R-O-E. Roe. This is the one picture for the egg of fish. Next we are going to see reproduction in reptiles. All reptiles lay hard, brittle eggs on the ground. Now reptiles like crocodile or tortoise, they live in water. They come to the ground just to lay eggs. They lay eggs in the ground, cover it with the mud or sand, and they go back to the water. When these babies hatch out, they go towards the water. This is an tortoise hatching out of the eggshell of the mother. Then this is a crocodile baby, and this is a snake's baby. All these three are the examples for the reptiles which lay hard brittle eggs on the ground. Next is mammals. Mammals have the special we have the special characteristics of viviparous animals. Viviparous means animals which give birth to their young ones. Aquatic animals like dolphins and whales give birth to their young ones. In the picture you can see the dolphin is giving birth to a baby dolphin. Usually all the fishes, they lay eggs and the baby is hatched out of the egg. But in dolphin and in whales, because they belong to the category of mammals, they give birth to their young ones like all the other mammals. Now the mammals that lay eggs. Now in mammals also there are the animals which lay eggs, that is duck-billed platypus and spiny anteaters. These two are the exclusively different kinds of mammals which lay eggs instead of giving birth to their young ones. In viviparous reproduction, the baby develops from an embryo inside the mother's body. After a certain number of weeks or months, when the baby is out of the mother's womb, most mammals give birth to fully formed young ones. In human beings, the mother carries the baby for around 9 months in her stomach. Even the dogs also, they give birth to their young ones and they feed their babies with their own milk. That is the very special characteristics of the mammals, that they feed their babies with their own milk. In mammals, the human beings, they carry the baby, the mother carries the baby for in her womb for 9 months. And if you take an example of elephant is also a mammal. They carry the baby elephant in the stomach, in the womb, for around 2 years. Around 2 years it is inside the mother's womb. Now that was about the reproduction in different kinds of animals. You saw the different kinds of reproduction, that is oviparous and viviparous. In oviparous you saw the insects, fish, amphibians, reptiles and birds. Viviparous you learned about mammals, how they give birth and what happens in the reproduction of the animals. Stay home, stay safe and take care of yourself and keep learning, children. Thank you very much.